Part 2, Section 4, Friends and Lovers. Good Beer Guide, Real Pubs, reviewed by real people. The Harbour Inn, Hunstanton, is nicely situated on the beachfront, with a balcony overlooking the sea. It caters for the tourist trade and is a lively bar with a constant flow of mainly young people. My recent visit was enlivened by some sort of fracas between one of the barmaids and a young female customer. However lively it is, it's the beer that we are interested in, and here it is lacking. There is no real ale, only keg bitter and that lager that the young people drink. The barmaids may be attractive, but they have no idea how to serve a decent pint. Reviewer, JB from Islington. Overall rating, 2 out of 10. Nice location, shame about the beer. A lot of the people coming to Hunstanton were youngsters, either there with their parents or in groups with others of around the same age. I found that I was able to easily strike up a conversation with these kids, who seemed fascinated by my life working on the coast. Some of the teenage girls seemed keen to get to know me better, and I was impressionable enough to find that flattering. Maybe once or twice a month, that interest was more than just casual. I was invited back to a holiday chalet or a secluded part of the beach where no one would see us. Once I even did it in the ladies' toilet at the fun fair, until someone in the next stall started banging on the wall and shouting at us to keep the noise down. Now, I was in love with Ruby, I really was. But I was also a young man who couldn't turn down the offer of casual sex. What boy of my age could have? As Ruby got more involved in her schoolwork, she started working less at the Harbour Inn, and although I knew somewhere in my heart of hearts that this was not a sensible thing to be doing, it was easier to listen to my hormones than any idea of good sense. For most of the following summer, all was well. I became adept at juggling the various parts of my life, and I was starting to feel invincible and on top of the world. It was on one of those nights that Ruby and I were both working at the Harbour Inn that disaster struck. A group of teenagers came in and started enjoying themselves, and I played along and had a good time with them. One of the girls seemed vaguely familiar, but to be honest, all the holidaymakers appeared to be the same to me after a while. They had a few drinks, and the girl I vaguely recalled motioned me over to her table and started wanting to make out with me. I knew better than to start anything with Ruby the other side of the bar, so tried to get away without seeming too rude, but at the same time I was starting to react. It was then that Ruby appeared at the table and said, "Listen, bitch, get your grubby paws off my boyfriend." "Boyfriend?" The girl sneered at Ruby. "Well, you're welcome to him. He's only got a tiny dick anyway. Although I must say he does know what to do with it. I can't imagine he learned that from a fat slapper like you." It seemed to me that the world stood still for an instant, and the girl's words reverberated around the room. Then Ruby started shouting at the girl, who was given as good as she got. It didn't take long for the hitting and slapping to begin, at which point Malcolm and one of the guys from the party managed to pull them apart. "And as for you, you worthless pile of shit," Ruby spat at me, "do you think I don't know you've been screwing every little whore that would have you? But flaunting it right in front of me is low, even for you. Well, I'm not taking it anymore. You can forget anything about between us. You're just a no-good farmhand, and you'll never amount to anything else. I never want to see you again." She stormed out into the night, and Malcolm said it was probably best if I didn't try to follow her. He asked the teenagers to finish their drinks and go, and the pub quickly emptied. I tried to call Ruby the next day, and in the days that followed, but all my calls went unanswered. I went round to her house, but Ma Smith made it clear that Ruby didn't want to talk to me. "Probably best if you don't call on us anymore, at least for the time being," she said in a kindly voice, but firmly. As she closed the door in my face, I realised I just lost something special.